Praise the name of the Lord. You are welcome, people of God. How was your day today? Wonderful. You are welcome. Praise the name of our God. Hallelujah. I'd like you to open your Bibles with me to the book of Acts of the Apostles. I will be reading in chapter 13. I will be reading verse 22. Acts of the Apostles. This month is our month of Thanksgiving, and we have been talking about Thanksgiving, for some time now, about 2 or 3 times now, and we will be continuing today, and we will be closing it on Sunday. I want you to know that it is a legitimate duty of a child of God to give thanks to God. It is our duty as people of God to give thanks unto God. Even in the natural, as human beings, once somebody shows you mercy, gives you a helping hand, you are bound to express that with thanks. You are bound to appreciate that person. You are bound to be grateful for that which that person has done for you. And God does not expect less. And so every November we set it aside to thank God. But from our previous studies, we have seen that Thanksgiving ought not to be an event. Because when we say November, it will appear as if it is an event. But from the scriptures and teachings we have received, I am confident to say that Thanksgiving is not designed to be an event. It is designed to be a lifestyle of those who believes. It's supposed to be a lifestyle, not just an event. But we put it an event in order to highlight it. That means this Thanksgiving season is not an end on itself, but it's a means towards achieving a lifestyle that will take us to when the Lord shall come, or that will take us to our destination in our Christian journey. So tonight we will be talking about Thanksgiving, the model of David. We will be using the model of David to look at Thanksgiving, to see the beautiful grace that we can tap from Thanksgiving, to see how God sees Thanksgiving and the miracles that Thanksgiving can do in the life of anyone who takes it serious, who practices it, and lives it as a lifestyle. In Acts chapter 13 is a narrative that Paul was sharing with the people of God in Antioch. And so I'm just taking verse 22. He said to them that when he had removed him, that is God, when God is talking about the storyline of the fathers, the people of Israel. And here where we're interested was drawing a comparison between the former and the present, as it were, which will help us into the future. So he said, when God removed Saul, the first king of Israel, or the leader, the captain, after the end of the reign of the judges in Israel. They said, we need a king to rule over us. We saw other nations, they have kings, so want to have a king who will rule over us. Samuel, the prophet, was the end of the days of the judges, the leadership of the judges. So God gave them a captain in Saul. And 22 now said, and when he had removed him, he raised up to them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, what was the testimony? I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. All my will. So we will be looking at this very key word. God said, I have found David, a man after my heart. It will interest you and I to know that when God made this statement, David was not yet a king. But God said, I have found a man after my heart. This will interest you to know that the God we serve is not constrained to who you are today. He's not constrained to the limitation around you today. He has a holistic picture of how your life will run on earth. He had an expectation, and he is not bothered when there is ups and downs in your life, because he said concerning David, as at this time he was just a shepherd boy, God said, I made him a king. I went further to say, and he's a man after my own heart. And thirdly, he said, he will fulfill all my will. Our concentration will be, how did David come to this level in the place of God? You will notice that in the Old Testament, God has used about 3 key descriptions to talk about people who are very close to him, people who he respects, and people who he desires. One was Abraham, said that Abraham is my friend. He's a friend of God. And he gave Abraham an entirely a different dimension in working with God. That was why he became the root of those that are saved. They called out from the entire world of unbelief. Another person was Moses. God said, if I had any prophet, I speak to him in dreams and in vision, but to my servant Moses is not the same. I speak to him as a man speaking to a man, mouth to mouth. And the third was David. He said of David, David is a man after my heart. And it will interest us to know that out of these 3 people that were special in God's mind, it was David that would be the foundation of Jesus. Nobody calls Jesus the son of Abraham. Nobody calls Jesus the son of Moses. But Jesus is called the son of David. Nobody establishes any throne, and it was said of him that your throne shall be forever. And it was only David that God said that to. And Jesus came, and God put him upon the throne of David to rule forever. Why was he this different? from others. We need to study it because it will help us in a world where there is apathy against God. People are not interested that much about God. How can you be unique in the sight of God? How can you be different in the sight of God? And you will notice that God does not just use words anyhow, because this strong word God used for David will be the foundation that will see David through his life with all the ups and the downs. This word of God kept him. In other words, there is something we will walk into in this season. There is something we may understand in this season. There is something we may lay hold in this season, and it will define our life forever. It will define our destiny. I said that because before David became anything meaningful, God has said this thing concerning him. And irrespective that he was a shepherd boy in those days, a person of no consequence, of no importance, even in his own family, because we know the story that when Samuel now came to anoint one of the sons of Jesse, that he wasn't there. And Samuel, after the thing, God said, no, the person is not here. And he turned to Jesse and said, are these all your sons? Are they? Is it done? He said, oh, yes, the last one is in the bush. In other words, he was not part of the sons. Until God insisted. And so we saw here that God said he's a man after my heart. And that would be the game changer in the life of David. You remember that day Moses said, Samuel said, we will not sit down until you fetch that one. Is the one we're talking about. So Thanksgiving, the model of David. How did David struck a point in the heart of God that made God swear to him? God said, I swore that somebody must always sit on this your throne, a son of yours. That must be something serious. And it was impressed in my heart that we need to review that to help us in this journey. So we will be looking at 1 Samuel. Did I say 1 Samuel? No, let's go to 2 Samuel. Chapter 6, 2 Samuel. Chapter 6. I need us to look at some key points highlighted by the scripture. How David did it to be special in the mind of God, which would later in turn define his destiny and change his life forever. 2 Samuel chapter 6, I'm going to read from verse 1 to 5. Again, David gathered all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah. So they even have Baal in Judah. To bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts, that dwelleth between the cherubims. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah, and Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart, and they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God. And Ahio went before the ark, and David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all manner of instruments made of fair wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. I'm going to stop here for a moment. What is this story all about? What character can we pick out from here that made David wonderful in the sight of God? If you follow the history of the children of Israel, we were taught that when Eli's ministry was coming to an end and Samuel was growing up, there was so much sin and iniquity in the land, and God told Eli, you are going to have issues and it's going to be terrible. Your sons are not doing the right thing and you're not doing enough to correct them. And he said, well, they are adults. Maybe it's a Canadian. What can I do? They're all adults. They have their freedom and their liberty to do what they want to do. God said, okay. So, not long, there was war. And that same day, Eli died, his two sons died, and a lot of calamity happened in the land. And the ark of God was captured by the Philistines and taken away from the church, or from where it ought to be. After that war, nobody was able to bring the ark of God back to its place. Samuel was a prophet and left. Saul was a king for 40 years in Israel. The ark of God was not brought. But when David became king, David said, no, the ark of God cannot be in a strange land. And we are rejoicing and prophesying here that all is well. So he set out to bring the ark of God under a roof. So I said on my notes that David is a man that is concerned about the welfare of God. David is a man who is concerned about how the things of God are handled, is done. Other people before him, they didn't care. As long as things were working out well for them, everything was all right. But David said, I'm in the palace, yes. But how far about God? How does God feel? What are we doing in Canada? How are we serving him? He said, no, I can't be comfortable in the palace when God is in the territories of the enemy. So he set out. So God knew that he will be doing this even before he became the king. When I saw this, I asked him, I said, what has God discovered that I am going to be doing for him in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I want you to ask yourself a question. Because God is looking for people were the foundations that prepared David for thanksgiving. He was concerned with God's welfare. Even though those before him didn't bother so much. But not a David. And that is the kind of person that God wants us to be. People who don't rejoice with the iniquity in the land. People who don't feel less concerned when iniquity is going on. People who pretend as if everything is all right with the purpose of God. No. David said, we cannot abandon God in the territory of the enemy. So he went forth with all the people to bring the ark of God where we have read. Praise the name of the Lord. We know the story, so I'm not going to be reading all those stories. I just want us to look at the points. Very critical. Let's look at verse 14. Let's just go down. And David danced. Okay, let me read 13 before the 14. And it was so that when they that bear the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings. This is very serious. So before I read 14, let me talk about this 13. They were coming from one country to another. Let's just say from one province to another province. You know the distance. The other time we went to Saskatchewan and we drove for 6 hours, 30 minutes on the highway to get there. So you can imagine how far it seemed to be. Just neighboring province there. The Bible says, after 6 paces, that means, you know, in football, those days, when the measuring standard in the field were not there, or when we were playing in the streets and on the road, when you want to play penalty, you just do like this and mark 6. When you walk 6, say, yeah, this is the penalty. That's how we measure it. So the Bible said, when the people walked 6 steps, they sacrifice. Another 6 steps, they sacrifice. From Toronto to Winnipeg. Point 2, he was a man of sacrifice. We are looking at his model. And the way he saw thanksgiving and why he was different and thick before God for all generations. Till today in Israel, one of the defenses of Israel in the United Nations, when they are fighting over Jerusalem, whose territory it was, is it the Palestinians? Is it the Jews? Is it Israel? One of the defenses that Israel presented before the United Nations was that Jerusalem was the undivided capital that their ancestor David built the capital, the throne of Israel upon. Why? Till today, he is still an evidence that that nation, that city belonged to
to them, it must not be something ordinary. So he is a man of sacrifice. Every 6 steps, they will offer sacrifice. I wonder the quantity of sacrifice that David had to use that day. You know, if it is us today, yeah. How much money will you spend? You know, today you see people argue and giving and argue and say all manner of things. David is a model that God wants us to use in dealing with God. Let's read 1 Chronicles 21, verse 24. He is a man of sacrifice. 1 Chronicles 21. Let me read 22 to 24. 1 Chronicles 21, from 22 to 24. Then David said to Ornan, grant me the place of this threshing floor, that I may build an altar therein unto the Lord. Thou shalt grant it me for the full price, that the plague may be stayed from the people. And Ornan said to David, take it to thee, and let my lord the king do that which is good in his eyes. Lord, I give thee the oxen also for burnt offerings, and the threshing instruments for wood, and the wheat for the meat offering. I give it all. 24. And King David said to Ornan, no, but I will verily buy it for the full price, for I will not take that which is thine for free. Or I will not take that which is thine for the Lord, nor offer burnt offering for free, or offer burnt offering without cost. You know, something happened in those days, and David numbered the people, which was against the will of God, and God was angry, and things began to happen. People began to die. And when the prophet told David, this is what you did that get God angry, and this is the judgment. 3 things. Choose one. David said, I don't know what to choose. I can't fall into the hand of my enemies, for 3 years and all of that. In fact, let me fall into the hand of God. It's better that God deals with me than other human beings dealing with me. And the angel of God began to kill people. Thousands of people were killed. At a point, God decided to stop, to change his mind. So the prophet told David, he said, go to this threshing floor, Ornan's threshing floor, and sacrifice there. You will be able to, bring repentance and please the heart of God, and the angel will stop killing. God will forgive what you have done. And David ran to the place and met the owner of the farm. And when he came, the owner of the farm said, I will give you the place for free. The sacrifice you need and everything for free. If it is us today, something free, people want something free. free. Am I right? David said, no. I will not offer to God something that did not cost me anything. You know the implication? If he had received it, the blessing would have gone to honor the one who owned the threshing floor. You know, those men who walked with God knew something some of us don't know today as new generation church people. If it is us also free, this is free, we'll jump at it. The man said, the God I serve, I will not give him something that doesn't cost me anything. Satan said, not even have a price. He said, tell me the full price. I will buy it because I want to give it to God. If it is today, we will call him a fool, a foolish person. And think we are giving it to man, since we are giving it to the pastor. Maybe we are giving it to man. But David, he was a man of sacrifice. He understood the principles and the dynamics of sacrifice. Thanksgiving is a sacrifice. You need to understand it. A sacrifice that does not cost you anything may not give you any blessing. David was a man of sacrifice. He understood the dynamics of sacrifice. I remember, okay, maybe we'll get there at some point. So, he was a man of sacrifice. Honor wanted to do him a favor, but David said, I don't want this favor in this context. Because the favor God will give you is far greater than any favor any man can give you. Yes. And so, David was a man of sacrifice. And God wants us to be people of sacrifice. Every systems he offers. Every system he offers. That was part of the reason why I told her that Thanksgiving ought to be a lifestyle. We have seen it from this place. Anybody that is offering sacrifice at every point in time, every 6 steps, it shows you that it's not an event anymore. It's become the life pattern or lifestyle of such a person. And such a person will remain special in the mind of God. If God would choose as to who and whom he should bless, they will rank the topmost in the mind of God. Now let's read 14. And David danced before the Lord with all his might. And David was girded with a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet. David was both a music maker and a dancer. You know, you cannot, it's not very easy to dance when you are angry. You know, it's not very easy to sing when you are angry. David was a music maker and he was a dancer. Dance is an expression of happiness or joy.
God wants you. If you're frowning every time, you will have no appetite for singing. So that is why when the Spirit of the Lord is upon my soul, I will dance like David danced. He became a reference point. You know, the world wants you to be very serious. And that is why the world keep hitting you with problems, challenges, something that will make you angry. If you turn on the television now and listen to news, you will be terrified about Winnipeg and Manitoba. The other time I read one article saying Manitoba is becoming very dangerous to live in. They have beaten the record. They are setting a new record of homicide in Manitoba. They have 12 years record has been broken already. The year is not yet ended. As of last week, 42 homicides. The last time they had that much was about 12 years or 11 years ago. And the year is not yet ended. So, if you listen to news, if you read newspapers, all you hear is bad news. 90%, 99% in some cases. You can't hear such a news and you begin to dance and jump. Does that happen? No. So, what do we need to do? David is a man that delights in God's news. That's why the Bible, the gospel is good news. Instead of spending so many time and energy in listening to their news that breaks our hearts, let us read and listen to the news and the gospel of Jesus. It will make us to be confident, to trust God. Then we can dance and sing unto the Lord. David sang. He was a king. You know, in the church today, so many people are too psychedelic in the church that even in the time of praise and worship, they are pillars. Yeah. No, that is not anointing. God wants you to be free. It's when you are free that you can praise God, that your heart can open, that you can be appreciative. If you need to look at the things God didn't do for you, you won't be happy. But if you can look away from the ones He didn't do and look at the ones He has done, you will see joy and happiness. Because so many people are not able to breathe well the way they need aid to breathe. There are some people are supporting the workplace. Every time you see oxygen box around, they fix it on them. So, but you are hale and healthy, standing or sitting. Nobody carried you to the church today. You walked with your 2 legs, and yet, if you look away from those ones, you will say, why has God not done this? Done this. And then your dancing spirit and mood is taken away from you. David abandoned the things of distress so that he could dance before his maker. You know, that was why when that woman, the wife, Micah, said, look at you disgracing yourself dancing to ordinary people. You don't know you're a king. You don't know that you should maintain a decorum. Don't you know who you are? David was angry. He said to her, I'm dancing to that God who removed your father and put me in the place. That's the God I'm dancing to. So your dance is not about how much money in your pockets. Your dance is not about how educated you are. The dance is not about whether you are white or black or red. The dance is about the mighty one who controls the universe, who is your father. It's not about my size or who I am. It is about who he is. Remember that God doesn't need you to be God. He doesn't need me to be God. He's only here to make us better, like he made David better. You know, a fool said in his heart, there is no God, according to the Bible. And so he said he's an atheist. Say, okay, since you don't spend Christmas, April 1 is your day. You got angry. Say, how dare you say, but you said there's no God, so celebrate the day there's no God. You got annoyed, but the Bible said that a fool said this and that there is no. So he danced and sang praises to God, knowing that this God is able to make him what no man, no government, no person can make him. This God is able to do that. Let's read verse 18 and 19. We'll begin to round off from here. And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offering and peace offering, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. Verse 19. And he dealt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel, as well to the women as men, everyone a cake of bread, a good piece of flesh or meat, and a flagon of wine. So all the people departed, everyone to his house. Two things. In verse 18 he said that David offered two sacrifices there to God. One, burnt offering. The other one, peace offering. I said in my book that David is a crazy giver. When the Holy Spirit said that in my mind, I was like, how can I use that kind of word? He's a crazy giver. So, I didn't go to school. So when he said that, I opened my Bible. What does it mean to be crazy? So I saw that the word crazy, the noun word of the word crazy, means to be mentally deranged. And that's the one I knew that made me think, Holy Spirit, how can you tell me to say this? After studying that one, I saw again the second meaning of crazy. Crazy as an adverb means to be enthusiastic, extremely enthusiastic about an issue. I said, okay, this is the word the Holy Spirit meant. David was an extremely enthusiastic giver. So he was a crazy giver. The meaning of burnt offering means that that animal was completely burnt. In other words, every animal that fell into that
he gave it completely. Now, this offering is the one where you can offer to God and eat some part of it. So, David was heavily involved in those kind of two sacrifices to God. He gave it. It was burnt complete. Gave it. This offering for the goodness, blessings. And one, he ate some part of it and some part went there. That was in verse 18. And in verse 19, he said that everybody that, remember when he counted those people, where we started reading, they were about how many? About 40,000 people, right? Maybe others would have joined them. I remember in those days, when they count, they just count men. The women are not counted, youths under 18 are not counted. In some cases, under 20 are not counted. So, but even if all of them were counted, they were about 40,000 people. And the Bible said, when they were done, that David gave to every single one of them food, meat, and drink. Not the one they consumed there. They take home an evidence that they came to do something with David. Everyone took home a cake of bread, that is food, a piece of flesh, that is meat, and a flagon of wine, that is wine. David gave to everyone. This man is a crazy giver. And you see why he was a man after God's heart. He is developing the capacity to give just like God, who gave his only begotten son, not even to righteous people, but to sinners. For when we were yet sinners, Jesus died for us. So David was operating in a level of giving with God. Tell me why he will not succeed in life. If you take time to read the comparison between David and Saul, Saul did not sin more than David. But Saul was a man that does not appreciate anything done for him. Remember that Saul, when he was looking for a father's axe that got missing, he was a nobody. And Samuel said, you are the next king, you are the captain of Israel. The man went and hid somewhere, said, me? Who am I? But they lifted him and said, and anointed him. He became a king. The first assignment they sent him, God destroyed the Amalekites that said the people of God will not be. He said, let me save this king so that if I have problem tomorrow, another king will save me. You know, we behave like that because we think we are wiser than God. Because we think we can use our human brain and mind, to protect ourselves. No, protection is in the hand of God. So they sent him on the assignment, and he destroyed that assignment. And someone came and said, hey, praise God, everything is in order. We have done what you sent us to do. Glory to God. And someone said, what is the bleating and the cry that I hear at the backyard.
He said that one is the
People, they just brought some things to sacrifice to God.
Someone said to obey is better than sacrifice.
When you sacrifice, what God said of David, he will do all my will.
And
Saul forgot that just last year,
he was just looking for his father's ass. He was a nobody in Israel. And God picked him. You know, some people, once they have a little lifting in their life, they forget God. They think it's their skill. They think it's their education. They think it's their smartness. They think it is their connection.
sorry. Most Samuel said to Saul, you lost it.
And God is giving it to somebody better than you,
Who will not forget where God took him in the days of prosperity? Who will not forget where God picked him in the days of his strength?
That was why, even when David
Conquered the nations.
he was still conscious of what does God want me to do? How does God want me to handle this situation? He was a crazy giver. He never forgot that he needed to always be thankful to God. He never forgot that he ought to be always appreciative of God. He never forgot that
God took somebody out of that position and brought me into
that position. Can I tell you that anywhere, anything you have attained today, somebody was in that position before you were born.
any position you have attained today, any class
You are today, you were promoted last June, and by September you were in a new class. Somebody was in that class before. And wisdom teaches that you appreciate God for bringing you to that new class, for bringing you to that new level in your workplace, into that new level in your marriage, into that new level in your business.
For those that forget,
they have nowhere they are going. Let's stand on our feet.